What's up, everyone? It's Chicks in the Office with Rhea and Fran, giving you that Friday energy on a Wednesday. We are joined by our best friend Trent, who's sitting to the right of me.
We've elevated the friendship. I'm okay with that.
You're my best friend.
All right.
You're my best friend.
Yep.
And you're my best friend.
Bunch of best friends
and
all in the
we're
same
all
room.
aboard this ship to do the Bachelor recap.
The pen is back in Rhea's hand.
The pen is back in my hand.
A normal
Baby, it feels
pen.
good.
A normal pen.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
so many people. We recorded last week for a Friday episode, and Rhea's energy it hit different. It was just one of those episodes.
Look
and
at me.
it was
Look at
literally
my stance.
because she
Yeah.
had this pen in her hand, and she was just like talking with the pen, like she was about to write shit down. And everyone thought like they meant like a pen, like a vape, like a weed pen, or like
We
and
kept
it was,
saying like take.
we just
like,
said
the
pen.
like-
Because they were like, take the pen from her. I was acting different, and
Yeah.
like people
Yeah.
just assumed there was a weed
It's
pen.
quite literally a writing utensil,
Just a writing utensil.
Yeah.
which is what it's the same pen.
And to be frank, I haven't used that word in years, but to be frank,
Yeah.
I haven't had a pen in my hand in God knows how long, since last week when I had the
Yeah.
pen in my hand. But I dropped out of college.
Yeah.
Wasn't using any writing utensils. We got laptops now. We got iPads. Things have
Your
even...
handwriting has been slacking off.
My handwriting has been slacking off. And you know what? Things have even changed in the modern day schools. They have iPads instead of textbooks now. And they're not writing notes. The notes are emailed to you. The notes are sent to you on a PowerPoint on your iPad. I love writing.
Yeah.
I love writing things
I always
down.
like writing too.
I have such horrible handwriting that I never liked writing, but I like the idea of like you using it as a way to like show a different side or
really,
like
It's a
see
different
more-
side
using
of
it
me.
to make her point.
Yeah, I think
It's like holding a drink at a party. You just
Yeah.
feel like
I think Seinfeld has a joke about people who smoke cigarettes are able to make
Yeah.
their point better because
Yeah.
it's just there's something about
Yeah.
and then you can put it out at the end of your
pen
point.
works the same way.
Yeah, I think it's very effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say this. Like you said, holding a drink at a party, right? A sober person might hold a water with a lime in it.
Yep.
I am no scholar, but I'm holding a pen.
Yep.
It's
what I
also
mean?
Fake it
a
till you
little
make it.
a little presidential. I feel like presidents
Imagine
always
Rio
have.
was just smoking a cig the whole
I
podcast.
would love, like, I'm not, people have it mistaken. People think I'm a big cigarette smoker. I'm not. My parents, yes, not
Yeah.
me. But if me and you were just smoking cigs doing the Bachelor
This guy
recap,
Clayton.
Yeah.
how elevated
Listen,
would this recap
it's,
go?
It's no
Like
secret.
people would
Just
tune in,
smoke,
like
all
peop-
foggy in
people
here.
love
I
our
mean,
recaps.
this room would get disgusting.
No, it would be gross.
Yeah.
We'd open the door, but
No, we wouldn't.
No,
but,
it's hot.
but it's no because like if you're doing that, then that stuff doesn't bother you. Like, and there's a reason that like Peaky Blinders is the coolest show ever because they just smoke cigarettes the whole time.
Yeah.
Mad Men smoking cigarettes the whole time. Cigarettes are bad, and people should not
They're
smoke
cool.
them.
They're cool.
But they're like
Objectively, they look cool.
they look cool. They're
on
not.
certain people.
They're super unhealthy. But like if you're smoking a cigarette and like
On certain people.
Like
It
a
only
tall-
works.
a tall model-
You see me holding a cigarette, it doesn't look cool.
Yeah, that would look weird.
That
Exactly.
would look even cooler.
No, it looks weird. I've tried it.
Really?
Yeah, it looks weird.
Tall
Doesn't
model
work
in
for me.
England.
Doesn't work for me.
Supermodel.
I think-
in
I mean,
England.
anybody in England. Just put anybody in England.
Leo
Yeah.
and Blood Diamond.
Oh.
Yeah, just anybody really.
Those like these characters like smoking cigarettes is a big part of their role.
Absolutely.
crazy.
Okay,
Just
let's.
how this pen is a big
Exactly.
part
The
of my role.
pen has become attached to
I
her.
had something else to say, and
You
now
didn't get your nails done, huh?
how dare you? How dare you call out something so close to my heart and something I'm embarrassed of?
You gotta like.
I'm
you
gonna
gotta
go tomorrow. I was gonna go tomorrow. I was gonna go tomorrow.
They're the most grown out I've ever seen. them.
They're terrible.
As your friend,
oh my
like,
god,
they're kind
so
of scared.
No, honestly, they're so bad. I'm happy you called them out. I was planning on going tomorrow
Oh man,
because we're
Okay,
going to
yes.
LA today.
Yeah.
I was planning on just going to the place we went to last
Yep,
time.
great place.
Getting them done.
That guy was great. He'd be happy to have you back.
Yeah, he would. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Anyways, let's get into the Bachelor recap.
We went to get our nails done before the People's Choice Award, and the guy in the nail salon, like, we're chatting. We're there for a while. It took us a long time. And the guy, when we're finishing up, we're paying, and he's like, "Oh, what are you guys here for?" And we're like, "Oh, we're on the People's Choice Awards." Like, "Oh, so fun." Like, yeah, we have a podcast, whatever. We give him like the quick 2 seconds, like in, out, because we were like leaving. We're like, okay, great.
Yep.
He messages Rhea on Instagram afterwards and was like, "Thanks for coming in. Like, you ever come back? Like, I'm also a photographer.
He wants to do a shoot.
Okay.
With Big Rhea.
I would love to like set up like a shoot, and I was like, I was dying. It was so funny.
That's very LA.
So LA.
Imagine I showed up in like a trench coat with just lingerie underneath, and I was like, I'm back for the shoot.
So LA. Yeah, I just had to say it. Okay,
all right, recap, baby.
Recap time. Let's get into it. First, we have to mention Valentine's Day and edible arrangements. Trent raw dogged a strawberry on cutting stems, and everyone's got to try it.
You better be raw dogging me strawberries.
What's happening?
911.
Get out.
911. I would like to call 911.
Way worse than I anticipated.
Yep.
I hope you know that.
Yep.
I know.
I did not mean it in that way.
Yeah.
I was gonna make
off.
I'm 3 seconds from hitting my emergency call button.
No, but
I was gonna make a joke about how you should get me strawberries for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
That was it.
We had a miscommunication, you and
We
I,
did.
Fran, about
We did.
because I was saying I want to just be able to pop chocolate covered strawberries in my mouth,
whole thing.
like anything, like
Yeah.
just not having to hold on to it. And
I was talking about just I wish I didn't have to take multiple bites.
right, and I just
And
ate
you
the whole thing.
The leaves and everything.
It was honestly, it was delicious.
There's no rule against, like, it's not bad for you to eat the
No,
leaves.
it's
Maybe they're probably a little dirty.
it's still like eating, it's like
Like you could eat the
you
core of
could
an
eat
apple.
like you could eat grass, like you'll be fine.
Do you do that?
No, but I'm saying you could and you'd be
Anyone
fine.
who eats the core of an apple, I'd look differently.
I would
at.
imagine it's not that common.
Kids eat dirt. We're all still here.
Right, like if the leaves on top of an edible chocolate covered strawberry is going to take me down, then I'm in trouble.
you ever
I ate
seen-
some
And they're
weird
not.
plants
It's so
as a kid.
it's so not. Look, it's been a full 12 hours plus. He's A-okay.
I'm as good as I've ever been.
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
Well,
good as I've
as
ever
far
been.
as eating chocolate covered strawberries go. These guys, they're delicious. We love them. Valentine's Day is coming up. You can get $10 off, $59 or more using code CuttingStems10 at edible.com. You can send it to your friend, your parents, your children, your lover, whoever it is.
Anybody.
Anybody.
You can really send them to anybody.
Because let me tell you something. Chocolate strawberries, a gift for all occasion.
Every occasion.
It really-
Random day.
Always. They're so delicious. You can also send fresh cut flowers as well. So if you are sending them for Valentine's Day, that's a very nice touch. We tried this on Cutting Stems last night. You could also get a platter with fresh baked cookies and creamy mini cheesecakes.
Cookies were really good. So was the cheesecake. I tried it all.
Trent
it was all
did.
good.
We did try it all. It was very delicious. So you can do free next day delivery, but you have to jump on this, guys. You got to get your order in by February 12th. So you can go to edible.com, and the promo code, guys, is for the amazing Valentine's Day platter, the dessert platter. That's what we were eating on Cutting Stems this week. It was delicious. So if you want to get that Valentine's Day dessert platter, jump on that, edible.com. Use promo code CuttingStems10 to get $10 off your next order by February 12th. The episode picks up right where we left off. The group date. We never saw who won the group date rose, who got the group date rose. They never showed us. We never saw it, but it seemed like it was Teddy.
Yeah, it was very
we had
strange.
to do like our own detective work.
Yeah, very strange editing. I don't even know what you call it, where we left off last episode with Shanae throwing the trophy into what I thought was bushes, but they're saying that it was a pool, which I disagree with.
You know what? They said pond.
Which I also disagree with. Because I did not see anything splash. I didn't hear anything splash. It seemed like
It
bushes.
could have been a pond.
All right. Yeah, it could have been like lily-covered pond.
Yeah.
A lily pad covered
Lily
pond.
pad.
Oh.
She took out a couple frogs when she threw
Yeah,
the trophy.
but there were no splashes.
Yes,
It was
there
my
was
point.
not.
But they never showed the end
They
of it.
never showed the end of it. It just went right into like the girls talking shit about Shanae and then Serene's one-on-one date, which they went to the Galveston Island Pleasure Pier, which I thought was like a fake name that they made up for like the show. Like they went to the Pleasure Pier.
It's a real place?
That's really the name of the place.
They rented out the whole thing.
The Galveston Island Pleasure Pier. They rented out the whole thing.
That's nice. But we were talking about it a little bit last night. I don't think I could do these dates anymore.
Yeah.
Just me personally talking about going, just because the rides. But they seemed like they had a good time.
They did. There was a lot. They went on all the roller coasters, all the rides, the really tall, the swings one.
Oh.
They played all the games.
Yeah.
Personally,
Ate some
I was
ice
bored
cream.
You were bored by it?
because I don't think I'm interested in the one-on-one dates until towards the end of the season.
I agree with you on that.
Because this is when we like to see the group dates, the drama, get that out of the way. And then towards the end of the season with the people he's closest with, then I'm more interested in the one-on-one dates, because sometimes I feel like he goes on one-on-one dates that like the person will be gone next week.
That's fair.
That's definitely true. But I think compared to like, it also just comes down to the person. Like sometimes there's just a connection, and the sexual chemistry between these two was not like popping off.
Yeah.
You know, I felt much more between Gabby and Clayton, I would say, than I did Serene and Clayton. Serene and Clayton both seem very nice, sweet people.
Yeah.
But it was just like a little boring.
No, I agree. And
know?
I was going to say the same thing, not to jump too far ahead, but
Yeah.
the Gabby one-on-one, like that felt like something actually happened.
Exactly.
There was a real connection. Something was going on between the two of them. Clayton and Serene, maybe, but after watching it and comparing it to the date with Gabby is clearly, he likes her a lot.
Yeah, I think so too. So they have a great date. Serene gets a rose. She does open up about, having recently gone through a lot of loss in her life. And Clayton definitely, I don't know if he necessarily struggles with this part of the one-on-one dates, but it's just the way he communicates right after, where it feels like we just kind of get the very basic, like, thank you for sharing.
He said, I think he said that's a lot.
Or like, yeah, he did say that's a lot.
I think it's like, that's interesting.
He's like, that's a lot. Thank you.
Which-
but it is. I don't know. That is the one part about being the Bachelor, the Bachelorette, that I have all the confidence in the world I could not do.
Right. I'm always more surprised when people know how to field that stuff. Like Michelle.
Totally.
Michelle was so good at it.
Yep.
And I watch somebody like Clayton and I see myself. I'm like, oh, that's how I
I
would.
feel like she's a teacher, though. It makes sense.
Yeah, it's different. People have different skill sets and they handle everything differently. Clayton, it's just not his strong suit, but I don't blame him for that because I see myself in that situation where you're talking to someone, they're sharing something very intimate and very personal with you, and there's these cameras right in front of you, and in your head you're thinking, I want to make sure I say the right thing. For some people, like I think Michelle, it just comes more naturally.
Yeah.
And for Clayton, it doesn't.
Yeah, definitely. So they cut back to the rose ceremony. The timing of this whole episode was weird because of the way it left off. Like, we got the one-on-one date from last week that we didn't see, and then the rose ceremony. So we're going into the rose ceremony, but everybody's just talking about the shit with Shanae from crashing the group date. So they're all very upset about it. They're still upset about it. All the girls that were on the winning team, the football, the purple team,
The purple people eaters? Is that what they were?
the purple punishers, I think.
Yeah, that sounds more right. I can't believe that date feels like it was 3 weeks
It
ago.
really does. They all kind of grouped up. They said to Clayton, hey, this is what happened with Shanae. It was pretty fucked up. She came outside. She yelled at us. She used expletives. I kept saying there were some
hurled
expletives
at us.
There were some expletives used. And then she chucked the trophy into the pond. And Clayton didn't, he did not like what he heard. He was upset about it. So what does he do? He goes back to the source, because this is what he does every single time, and confronts what he thinks he's doing a good job in confronting Shanae, and she talks her way right out of it.
He said, are you apologetic?
He talked to her. That conversation was so weird. It was like a dad talking to their 7-year-old daughter, being like, you know what you did was wrong, right? You have to go apologize to those girls that you just did that to.
And here's what I think is happening. He likes Shanae.
100%.
It's clear. That's why she's still here. That's why she's been able to survive.
Look,
Everyone.
Rhea's theory of them banging gets stronger and stronger as she
Absolutely.
stays
If
on
they
this
didn't
show.
bang, none of this is worth it.
Seriously, you're right.
So-
If my man didn't get some.
yeah,
So what he's saying.
specifically with Shanae.
What he's saying in that conversation essentially is like, hey, I like you. You were mean to the other girls in the house. You now know that you have to go to apologize. I'm not going to send you home. That's like, he's not saying these things, but that's the message he's getting, or that Shanae is getting from Clayton. So of course she's going to go out there and put on the performance of a lifetime, cry and say she feels bad about all the things that she's done. She didn't mean to bully or be mean to anyone in the house. She doesn't mean any of those things. She just knows that that's what Clayton wants her to do, and she wants to stick around, so she's going to do it.
She put on an all-star performance.
She did.
Awesome performance by Shanae. I was clapping and hollering. I hate her. I think she's terrible. I think she's a brutal human being. I don't know how
She
you
had
can
real tears streaming down her
I don't
face.
know how somebody can feel okay with themselves acting that way, but if you can and you can put on a performance like that, brava, because she did an incredible job. I mean, like
A bunch of the girls bought it.
Totally.
And I would've bought it
she's
too.
In her interviews being like, haha, got them again.
Yeah, she's literally
It's
like, I'm
evil.
not sorry, you hoes.
It's
woo.
it's
Whoa.
vile. It's
Whoa.
evil, and it's admirable. It's
Yeah.
insane to watch.
But in
She's
her
terrible.
Mind, in her mind, like, what is her end goal? Like, she wants to win.
Yeah,
Like,
of course. Well, she wants to be
But
on
then
the
she
show
knows
for
she's
as long
gonna
as
see
poss-
this.
as long as
She knows
possible.
like Clayton's gonna see this eventually.
But that's the thing. She went when you're acting this way, you go on this show knowing like I'm gonna be as destructive as possible. Like I'm gonna be, and like maybe she thinks she's funny because you know that's like Victoria P had that right. Like all the girls thought there was moments that, and Victoria P had talked about Victoria L.
no,
not
Victoria
Victoria
P.
P.
Victoria P.
No,
Victoria L.
Victoria Larson.
L.
Oh,
Victoria, Queen Victoria.
Queen Victoria.
Victoria P is a different Victoria.
Yep.
What did you call
Queen
her?
Victoria.
Coochie Monster.
Coochie
Yes.
Monster.
She, like, after her season, she was like, in the moment, thought I was being, like, really funny and entertaining. And watching back, it wasn't really like that. So perhaps Shanae has that same, well, she'll have that same kind of revelation. But it really does feel like she went in with the mindset of, like, I am going to fill this role. I'm going to go for Clayton, do whatever it takes. And, like, I don't give a fuck about these other girls. Because her confessionals, like her interviews almost feel scripted. She hits all like,
Yeah.
you know, like they almost feel scripted by herself that she was like, these are the lines I'm going to hit. I'm not sorry, hoes. I'm here to win. This is the Shanae show. Like,
And if I could be wrong, but I don't think Victoria L ever had those moments in her confessionals where she was like,
not as much. No.
I don't like. She wasn't as, I don't know if self-aware is the right term, but
right.
but
This
Shanae,
feels more calculated
Definitely.
by how she's talking about herself.
and we won't really know what her motivations are until the season is over, and she then is. I mean, she's Shanae.
Yeah.
Shanae.
Shayna?
Now she's Shanae, just in the world as the villain.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do then?
I don't know, but these girls, like, they thought perhaps this was going to be her time. You know, Lindsay had said she's probably digging her grave right now, talking to Clayton. None of that worked. None of it worked because guess what? She came out. She did the fake tears like we said. She goes back. She's all smiles with Clayton. Everything's good. I apologize. They make out again.
Done.
And she gets the last rose at the rose ceremony.
Remember when we thought the worst thing Shanae did was Nene?
Yeah.
Yeah. She
Yep.
has lasted much longer than we all thought. After,
It's impressive.
yeah, I didn't think that she would stick around this long, but I also didn't realize how much Clayton would like making out with her.
Yeah, and some tea. So Lindsay on her TikTok, Lindsay W, she got sent home. She posted, Rhea is taking notes of this episode, and honestly, it's entertaining.
I'm on my second page.
Good. This is going to be good stuff.
Diligent notes.
Diligent note taking. I can't see what she's writing.
I can't even see what
Yeah.
I'm writing.
It's
I
just
don't
turning
know.
into squiggles.
I can't read it. Yeah, I don't know what
Squiggles.
that says.
Okay.
Maybe I just
Anyway,
can't
Lindsay
read.
on her TikTok posted like the screenshot of Clayton's notes app from last week of being like, oh, if I knew what was going on, like I would have addressed it. The stuff with Elizabeth and the ADHD stuff. And Lindsay was like, well, I know that in my conversation with him, I told him all of that stuff was happening, and I told him what was said about Elizabeth, and that people were talking about, like that became a thing of like people were coming at her for the ADHD, and like that's, and she was like, that was it. She was like, I'm just gonna leave this here, I'm just gotta say, I did say something. So maybe that'll also be addressed at the Women Tell All, but he's acting like he had no idea that stuff happened.
It's a big myth that he doesn't know what's going on. Like
Right.
we know, and we didn't see that conversation, but we have seen other girls
We only know
in
it
the house.
because he's saying that he didn't know what was going on. Like he's really now trying to be in on the joke on Twitter and everything. Like,
Right.
oh my God, I can't believe this is what was happening. Like I look like such a clown. Like she's such a liar.
But we know there's girls in the house who have gone up to him. They've staged like 2 revolts where they say, hey, Shanae is bullying in the house. Like she is the problem. She needs to go home. And
Yeah.
he's still acting like, oh, I don't know what's going on. And it's actually
The entire team, a line of like 6 or 7 women all went down the line being like, she's a bad person.
right.
And it didn't matter.
What the point is, or what comes out of it, is that he just likes her.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not going to listen to anybody that says that she is the problem.
And it's not even necessarily that. He is physically attracted to her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we think it's safe to say that there is no winning being the Bachelor? Everyone always likes the Bachelorette, but nobody ever likes the Bachelor.
I don't even know if everyone likes the Bachelorette recently.
Most of the time they do.
Most of the time, I feel like yes.
Claire, everyone didn't like.
Well, that was a different story.
That's an exception.
Most of the time people love the Bachelorette. Most of the time people hate the Bachelor.
What's the last Bachelor you liked?
Like at the end of the season.
Because you do start
Everyone
out liking
always-
all of them.
You all like.
Everyone
Yeah,
always
that's what-
ends up. Ben Higgins is so long ago.
I know. By the end of Nick Viall's season, I liked Nick. I'll be honest. I liked Nick by the end.
I
of the
certainly
season.
don't dislike Matt James.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep,
Matt James.
Yep.
True, but then
You just
everyone
go
got mad
through-
at Matt James about Rachel.
Yeah.
People are always
Yeah.
getting mad
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
Bachelor
You
all
go-
the time.
here's what
And I'm
hap-
not defending Clayton. I think
Yeah.
that he's missing some key points here. I'm just bringing up a point where it seems like the Bachelor can't really win.
Well, what happens is you go through an impossible situation. You go in and you date 30 women, and you're supposed to handle all of that in a way that people are going to like. I think it's almost impossible to do that. And the guys who we end up liking at the end, we just kind of like their personalities and they seem like nice guys. Clayton clearly is a nice guy,
Yeah.
but it's such an impossible situation to find yourself in. And I'm with you. Like, being the Bachelor is very hard. Being the Bachelorette
Trent,
is also hard.
You're like the most likable person ever, right? If you were the Bachelor, I'm sure people would find something, they would be mad at you.
I have been.
That's why you always say you never want to be the Bachelor.
That's what I've been saying when the couple times, like Bachelor Live on stage.
Yeah.
When they had floated the idea, I was like, no, because I know that's going to happen. When Dave was like, let's do a Barstool Bachelor, I knew that would happen. And my reasoning to him was, I like the smaller roles because the more you put yourself out there, people are gonna find something,
Yeah.
regardless that
And
they
you
don't
can
like
also
about you.
very much like someone's personality and then see how they interact with like a girl and be like, ooh, I didn't think.
Trent's an asshole.
I didn't think that's how. It's just a different dynamic. So we're seeing it. We're seeing Clayton really just fall for everything that's happening with Shanae. She does get that last rose. Sierra, Jill, and Lindsay all go home, and Sierra leaves by saying, she kind of gives her little spiel of
Captain.
crinkling paper over there.
Captain.
She gives her a spiel of like, make sure you're looking for the right woman. And then she says, don't be stupid.
Fair, that's good advice.
Yeah.
I think it's good advice for everybody, but particularly Clayton in this situation.
Yep, definitely. Okay, let's take a quick break and then we'll come back and talk about Toronto.
By the time you're listening to this, you will have one more day to buy tickets to our LA live show that is presented by Dat Chat. You guys know how much we love Dat Chat by now. It's the best app to talk about what's going on in Chicks in the Office, Cutting Stems, The Bachelor. We love socializing with you guys on the app. I check Dat Chat every single day to see what you guys are saying about the podcast. Sometimes I like to comment along, see what you guys want us to talk about. Also, just to talk about regular pop culture topics. That's also not the only thing that Dat Chat is used for. You could also use it for private messaging. No screenshotting, no screen recording. So if you want to send a private message or a private picture, you could do so on Dat Chat. So make sure you check out Dat Chat right now. You can go to datchat.com/Barstool to get more info or just to download Dat Chat immediately. We love Dat Chat. We're so excited for our live show. You can go to the link in our description to buy tickets. You have one more day to do that. It's all presented by Dat Chat. So make sure you download the app and we'll talk to you guys on there.
Next stop, Toronto. They say it. We argued about this. Now, Rhea, how, if you were to say, hey, I'm headed up to that city, how'd you say it?
Toronto.
Yeah, okay, similar to how we
But-
said
I was thinking you were pronouncing it too heavy for
it. Yeah,
me.
because that's how Clayton
But
was
what
doing
we
it.
realized last night is we might be wrong.
We think we might be wrong.
Probably.
Like we might be like East Coast. Like
No, you're
Toronto.
you're
Toronto.
Canadian.
No, I was gonna
Toronto.
say because of the way that you say that I say out.
You
Ow.
said-
I mean, he
Out.
does say out. He
Yeah,
says
you say
out.
like-
Maybe
Canadian.
that is how you're supposed to say, like Toronto. Like it
Toronto?
doesn't sound normal. Not
Toronto.
Toronto.
Really?
Toronto.
Toronto.
Because the
Yeah.
way
It
that
could be a little less oomph.
no,
Yeah.
I think
Toronto.
the way most people say it is like
Toronto.
it's more like a double N at the end, not a T.
Yeah,
Like
Toronto.
and we're pretty lazy
It's
when we
kind
say
of
it.
like
Yeah.
Toronto.
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 Anyway, now I'm just gonna start saying
Annie
it like
Ann's.
clean.
I wish we had a Canadian in the house.
Wait,
that
what?
would
This
know.
is your
Auntie
example.
Anne's?
Always.
Because
Annie Ann's is
Annie
what
Ann's.
she's going to say.
Oh, you're
'cause-
saying Annie instead of Auntie.
yeah, because
Yeah.
it's Auntie Anne's. It's Annie Ann's.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff like that. People get
There
lazy.
absolutely is, but they're ready to take on Canada. This is the start of their international time. Gabby gets the first one-on-one date while they are there. They take a helicopter ride. This is the second helicopter ride of the season if we are keeping track of helicopter rides.
2.
And 2, that you will never catch me in a helicopter. I just
And this
would
one,
like to.
yeah, and this one didn't land on a yacht, right?
And if you're not
No,
taking
it
a
didn't.
helicopter, neither am I.
No, I'm not too scared.
I'm with you. I've been freaking myself out recently about planes enough that
Yeah.
helicopters, although, it's a good way to skip out on travel if you're in a situation
Yeah.
The
like
no
that.
door thing is just like, why? When there's
I feel
no
like most of
door.
them have doors.
No, I feel like a lot of them there's just no door. And like
On a helicopter?
Yeah, and you just have a seatbelt and there's no door. Like you're just looking out. Maybe am I
Well-
thinking of like Call of Duty? Maybe.
I think you're thinking of a military
you're thinking
helicopter.
Of a military helicopter.
Yeah.
There were certainly doors on the helicopter that they were on.
Okay.
Looking over Toronto.
Nice.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
sure. You're
Get
ready
together,
to like
Captain.
I still-
you're like on the mic being like, hey dudes, where we drop
You're ready to
it?
drop
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
Verdansk.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
what I'm thinking about. How are you gonna jump out if there are doors?
Yeah, no, there's for sure doors on most helicopters,
You know
I
what
would say.
scares me though?
Commercial
The
helicopter.
the
I think so.
propellers.
Yeah,
'Cause,
everything's
like,
scary about
I feel like I'd
helicopter,
be
I'll
ducking
be honest.
to go in. Like I'd be so scared of getting my head chopped off, even though I know it's high.
Be scared of a lot of things on a
Yeah.
helicopter. So they were getting on another one. They're looking at the city. It's beautiful. Then they play a little street hockey. They sample something called a beaver tail, where Clayton has asked her, "Have you ever eaten beaver before?" Ria.
Pay attention
I am
in
paying
class.
Oh,
she
she wrote it down.
No, she is.
Excuse me.
I just thought that
Don't
was.
you dare tell
Yeah,
me to pay
wow.
attention when I literally wrote down
No,
beaver
no,
talk.
Show us your notes.
It was-
I wrote down beaver talk. in my notes.
I actually.
It's like the teacher called on you and you were just like,
No. I teed her up because I thought she'd have a dirty joke there.
About eating beaver?
Yeah.
What is the dirty joke there?
Beaver?
What? Beaver?
What's beaver?
No.
I'm
You
kind of
don't
lost
know-
too.
Both of you, like, eating beaver,
Oh, like-
euphemism for, eating
puss?
vagina? No?
I
You
never
that's-
heard that.
That doesn't ring a bell for you
Never.
guys?
Neither of you?
Beaver, no.
eating beaver.
I've never heard that.
Usually
You
don't.
never, you never say, like, eating beaver, but it's
Yeah.
referred to.
Beaver is a
yes,
euphemism.
euphemism.
Yo, you eat
for-
a beaver?
I was eating some beaver last
The
night.
way that your that your mind
deep
works.
in that beaver last night.
The way that your mind works, that you did not know this and I did, is shocking.
That is shocking.
That's like a pretty
You want to
common.
hear the Urban Dictionary?
If it's that common, how come Big Ria's never heard it?
Fair.
It's oral sex to a hairy vagina is what it says on Urban
Oh,
Dictionary.
that would make. I was
Yeah.
wondering where
So it's a
beaver would
specific
come in.
thing, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
not just overall.
I was blanking. I was like, why beaver? That would make sense.
But I mean, there's
But
plenty
yes,
of
it's still-
animals that are
yeah.
hairy.
No, but it doesn't. I don't think it even necessarily all the time means hairy. I just feel like
No.
it is used for
That's
going
used.
down on women as a slang term.
eating beef. I love that.
Wow.
Which is why Clayton literally said to her, "Have you ever eaten beaver before?" And
That's
who
hilarious.
tweeted that it was the dirtiest joke he made?
Mills.
Mills.
Mills
So-
was like, "Clayton's about to utter the dirtiest."
Let's get the
word-
shirts mocked up.
Yeah,
Noah.
dirtiest language that's come out of
This seems
Bachelor.
like this seems like an old person.
Maybe it is.
Maybe.
Maybe it is trying. Maybe it is.
I can't believe 50% of the room didn't know
What'd
that.
you do last
I'm-
night, bro? Just ate some beef.
I'm honestly shocked.
Looking at old
I was
Playboys. It's like,
really-
oh, I get it now.
I was really ready to just throw. Like, I was ready for Rhea to have some kind of
Wow,
one-liner
look at
about
the
that.
beef on that chick.
Wow.
Sorry. You should have never told me that. You should.
I just. How could I not? I thought
just
you were gonna
have
have a moment.
beaver talk.
Screaming.
I am stunned.
Stunned. I'm
stunned.
I'll be honest. I'm stunned too. I really
also
thought that was
liked
something.
the moment between us where we didn't know how to say what we were going to say, and you said eating
I said
vagina,
vagina,
and I
yeah.
said eating puss.
Yeah, correct.
I'd like to take that back, but we can't now.
No, we just
don't
can't.
cut it out. Just keep it in.
Anyway, we
Beef,
could go from
beef
that
talk.
moment to a very wholesome moment of Gabby cuddling on the ground with that golden retriever.
Did
that was so
everyone
cute.
know last night that was a thing?
I joked about it
What?
while we were watching the show.
When you guys were watching, I didn't watch with you
Beaver?
guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelly laughed.
Wait,
Kelly
really?
laughed at
Because
it.
I just wasn't paying attention.
Oh, you were there.
And you
yeah.
were scarfing down ice cream. Like,
Oh, a lot of people thought that was. They were like, "What is he eating? Soup?"
Beaver.
I'm like, "It's clearly a McDonald's cup."
oh man.
Gabby's
we all,
great.
I made a little joke about it because I read the tweet from Mills out loud that he said Clayton was about to make like the dirtiest comment on TV. And then when he said that, I was like, oh, that's what it was. And then we all laughed.
All of us olds laughed.
Apparently,
Yeah, I
all
was
the
like, what are
olds.
you guys laughing about?
Yeah, clearly.
I
Just
really this
did not hit
Here
for
we
everyone
just call
else,
it
huh?
pussy.
I've always liked Gabby.
Me too.
We haven't gotten to see much of her, but last night's one-on-one with the dog laying on the ground, rubbing its belly.
Yes.
The whole thing, the whole
Very
day
cute.
with Gabby.
And then, but it did kind of seem like Clayton also tried to like pet her. Did you notice
That was
That
odd.
was weird.
He did. He was
Like he
petting
was
the,
like petting the dog, but also like trying to like
That was
touch
odd.
Gabby at the same time.
But also, and he said this during the night portion, I think, like that brings out that side, like Gabby brings out that side of
Yes.
him. And he likes that. And that was one of the more
Yep.
genuine connections we've seen all season between
I
the two
like it
people.
too because I think it does make Clayton. It just shows like Clayton can laugh and have a good time and joke around a little bit more than
Yeah.
we've seen. They cut back to the women. A new date card arrives and they announce the group date and then they realize that Genevieve and Shanae are the only ones off of it. So poor Genevieve, she's just like, it's a fucking 2-on-1. It's like they saw the boogeyman. It was like, it's a fucking 2-on-1.
She
The
knows.
2-on-1 is back and better than ever. And poor Genevieve got thrown into the mix.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know how she got thrown into it.
I don't know either. I guess like
Like of all the girls in the house,
I mean they were yelling at each other. So my guess is producers were like, the most emotion we've gotten with the girls fighting with Shanae is Genevieve. Like I think she probably raised her voice the loudest.
that's fair.
And Elizabeth's gone. Sierra's gone.
Maria's showing notes to Trent.
I know. Rhea's trying to pass notes now.
You see
Oh,
that?
I saw it.
What did it say?
I
Share
can't
with the
say.
class.
No, I can't share with the class.
We're moving on. So they're getting ready for a 2-on-1. Everybody else is getting ready for the group date. They go back to Gabby and Clayton's dinner, and they had a great date, start to finish. And then I think they were actually able to have a really nice conversation. She opened up about her relationship with her mom, and just like her struggles with feeling worthy of love and how she's done a lot of work on herself, and she does feel like that is stemmed from her relationship with her mom. And Clayton, like, he really seemed like he was paying attention. He was asking follow-up questions,
Yep.
which was nice. Like he was, he's like, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but they were able to actually talk about it. So they seemed like they had a great conversation. She opened up. It was very emotional, but she did get the rose. They made out in the pool afterwards.
Hell
It was
yeah.
all good stuff. All good stuff.
If
And
Gabby doesn't win, she's my pick for Bachelor.
100%. I think she
I think
is
everybody
by
feels
far
that
the
way.
front runner. Unless, I mean, who knows, man? These trailers they're giving us, like,
She might win.
it makes it, she might win. It also looks like there's at one point they try and make it look like Clayton's yelling at someone and it looks like it's Gabby,
That's
but
right.
maybe it's not Gabby or maybe it is Gabby. I don't know. So as of right now, we're all aboard the Gabby ship.
Yes, absolutely.
Big fan of
I want to
Gabby.
give a quick shout out, actually.
Choo choo.
I wanna-
Gabby train.
I want to give a quick shout out. On last week's episode, I had said, or I'd asked, is there anybody out there who breaks down previews of The Bachelor without spoiling
Yeah.
anything? And I got a ton of people that reached out to me.
Amazing.
And it's this page, Bachelor Fan Take. Have you heard of that?
No.
They're great. It's this guy who just breaks down previews.
All the previews?
Every preview in detail, doesn't do spoilers.
Love that.
Bachelor Fan Take. I had probably 20 people say
Suggest that
go to
account.
this guy,
Okay.
and I checked it out. His stuff is great.
Amazing. I'm going to have to go look too so I can try and make any sense of what's happening.
This season
in these.
especially, I feel like that trailer that they
are.
put out
They're
all
mind
season,
fucks every single time.
they're really working hard at it.
They really are. Okay, so let's get into that last group date. Before we do that,
This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. We know how hard these past couple of years have been for everybody, including people here at this office. And Fran and I have talked about on this podcast how big of advocates we are for mental health, making sure your mind is right, making sure your body is right. Because when your mind is not right, it can mess up everything in your body and you just don't feel right. And we want everyone to feel good, to get going, get through the day, get through your week, get to the weekend, because that's what we're all fighting for, right? So if you need better help in your life, you you could check out BetterHelp. It's an online therapy service where you don't need to see anybody in person. Sometimes people can feel uncomfortable, feel awkward with that. People feel more comfortable being online nowadays. You don't even need to look somebody in the eye. It could be over video chat if you want to, or it could just be online chat. It's also way cheaper than regular therapy, which can cost a lot. It can also be hard to find a therapist that you like, and also an affordable one who takes insurance. It's a whole thing. BetterHelp is here to help you out. And like I said, it's customized online therapy in any form that you feel comfortable with. So right now, this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/office. So go to BetterHelp.com/office and try out BetterHelp today.
Okay, the group date is a roast. Rachel, Sarah, Serene, Marlena, Susie, Hunter, Eliza, Teddy, and Mara all go. They meet Russell Peters, Canadian comic, big in the roast world, says Trent.
I don't know if he's big in the roast world, but I definitely heard of him.
Yeah.
I listen to various comedy podcasts, and he'll make appearances on those shows.
He seemed very funny. They were all laughing at him, and he was laughing at all the ladies, and so they're all gearing up. The amount of sauce references that Mara makes, I'm hitting the limit of
you've always had a little bit of a thing against
Mara, it's just,
and it rhymes with Sarah, which we found out last night.
Yeah, we did. But it's just the I don't know. It's just the constant.
She's very in your
reference
face.
To the marinara sauce.
She could definitely beat the shit out of me too. She is she could.
Yeah. So it's outside. There's other people there who are watching. All of the ladies are prepping their roast. They're writing their jokes. Everybody does a pretty good job, I would say. Marlena makes fun of Shanae. She says she's like a herpes outbreak. She keeps coming back and lasting longer than expected. Susie made fun of Clayton for his bench warming when it comes to football.
2 good jokes.
Eliza made a joke about all the women being trash. And then there was this back and forth between Sarah and Mara. Mm-hmm. And Sarah did post on her Instagram story being like, just, a couple facts. Things get moved around. So she kind of alluded to Mara perhaps actually performing before Sarah. The way we watched it, Sarah went first.
Yep.
And, made the cougar jokes and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then Mara went up there and made the 13-year-old joke. The way Sarah wrote it in her Instagram made it seem like perhaps those happened out of order, which is whatever. But
well, it makes it different for Mara because at the end of Mara was like, just go home, bitch, bye.
Yeah.
It was and it wasn't even really a joke.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I don't understand why there's hostility there.
Yeah, they both
Mara.
really they had these stank faces on. Mara looked like she was about to pull a Teresa Giudice and flip the table and freak out.
Mara's the oldest one there. Sarah's the youngest.
Mara's 32. Sarah's 23. So they have a 10-year age difference.
They were good jokes between the two of them.
They were. You go for the classic cougar joke, and then classic call me if you need a babysitter for your little girlfriend, which is also the other one when you,
felt real.
You say that.
It felt
did.
real, but
I laughed.
It did, but the best roasts do have to have a little bit of reality
truth,
in them, or else they just
true.
don't hit. So they honestly did a really good job. Shanae was joked about a lot, which made sense. She was not there, but I kind of feel like
that's fair game.
Fair game. Easy target. You don't have to if you're a little scared to make fun of someone right to their face, go for the one who's
right.
not.
Also,
go for the one that's not.
She's not there. She's not going to flip out.
Yeah.
Cause a scene.
And she's the one who clearly everyone has the most shit with. So, Hunter compared her to Jeffrey Dahmer.
That was a lot. That wasn't even really I guess it was a joke, but it was just hey, what Shanae's like? Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, she's
wow.
You know how Jeffrey Dahmer talked about being a victim in his own attacks? Shanae.
Remember when he was also a serial killer?
That's when I think people cross the line. It's Shanae's not killing people.
Right, Serene joked about being on Shanae's season of The Bachelorette. That hits. That's harmless. Yeah. Playful. I even think the herpes joke.
The herpes one is completely fine too. Yeah. Jeffrey Dahmer, on the other hand, serial killer.
I know. I wish we saw more of Marlena's jokes because she did seem like she had more. She had also posted I wish they showed more of my jokes.
Yeah. No, I thought it was overall a good date.
Yeah.
You never know. The roast is another one that they do over and over again, and you're just oh boy, I hope this is going to be okay and like even a little bit funny. I thought it was pretty funny last night.
So then during the cocktail party, Susie pulls him first and she does a little anti-roast. And Susie is very like angelic, I feel like. She had a white dress on. She's the long blonde hair. She's standing up at her microphone. She's just saying nice things about Clayton. It was almost too nice.
Too nice.
Too nice is a thing.
Yeah. I think it was almost too nice. And that was my opinion. I was like, this kind of feels like you're trying a little too hard.
Maybe. Too nice.
No, it works for him. I mean, Clayton.
No, it works for Clayton,
like,
but as a
Clayton,
human being,
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Too nice is a thing.
No. For Clayton, he was like, he loved every second of it. Oh,
this is what I've been waiting for.
He loved every second. And then, Marlena had some time. Rachel had some time. He really likes Rachel.
I can see Rachel making it far.
Because we didn't really see Rachel at all. Like during the actual roast, she seems also very sweet. Maybe her jokes weren't that good, or I don't know. They didn't really show her on stage.
She was unwilling to participate.
She did say that she's not very creative, though. When she went and talked to Clayton, she was like, "Those things scare me. I'm not very creative." So I could see how her jokes got cut.
Totally.
Then Clayton said that majority of his time is spent thinking about Rachel, which threw me for a loop because I was like, "There's 30 women there."
Yeah, and he gave her the rose. Yeah. Like after all those girls went up there and crushed their jokes and made him laugh and everything, he was like, Rachel. I'm giving the group date rose to Rachel.
He is operating in a way that he just picks the people he likes.
Yeah.
Which in the real world makes a lot of sense.
I know.
But then you watch it on a show like this and you're like, why is he picking Rachel? Why is he picking Shanae?
I felt like Marlena should have gotten that group date rose.
Yeah.
Because she is really trying and she's trying to make that connection with him and it seems like it's there. And I felt bad for her when she was like 2 weeks in a row now. Like I felt like I really have tried my best during these group dates and haven't gotten anything in return when Rachel is just kind of like, I'm not really good at this stuff. Oh, here's a rose.
Yeah, I wonder, like...
A pity rose.
I wonder...
He really likes...
Also, and I like you, Rose.
Yeah, he really likes Rachel.
Clayton
I think you can tell even just from their last one-on-one.
He might just have his mind already made up in terms of who he's going to take to the final four. It doesn't matter what any of the rest of the girls do. It's going to be Gabby. It's going to be Rachel. It's going to be Shanae.
I feel like that's probably how most leads operate, though. Like, you just know. Like, how much more time do you need to be like, these people? I like these people more.
It's usually not this obvious, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like he's not doing a good job hiding it, maybe.
Yeah.
But like those are the three.
Look, like Nick Viall talks about it all the time. Like early on, he very much knew it was going to be Vanessa. Yeah, like people know they just have to hide it or figure it out, do what they're going to do.
I guess that's human nature. Like you probably do know.
I would know within the week.
Yeah, because like it's like 3 weeks in. Oh, this girl who like just randomly did something now.
Yeah,
that
but
I like
also
her, like,
it did kind of seem like Gabby wasn't necessarily that high on the list. And then after the one-on-one, he kept repeatedly saying like how surprised she was, how surprised he was, and he like didn't see this coming. And so I think there are moments when someone sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
if you haven't spent enough time with them.
Sean Lowe and Catherine have been married. They got 3 kids. Catherine was not a factor on his season till like 6 or 7 weeks in.
Interesting.
Yeah. I remember that all the time because I'm like she slow played it.
Yeah, make sure
you write that down. Make sure you write that down. Catherine slow played it. Thank you.
And it comes down to bandwidth as the Bachelor. Like,
for sure.
You find this core of girls that you think you like and that you might have a future with, and then it's just like I got to figure out how to try and date the rest of these women too. It's a lot.
And then we see Niagara Falls, and the 2-on-1 is starting at approximately 9:52 p.m. So we know that we're actually getting none of it at all. Let's talk about what we saw. But first, even though we are in the colder months, that does not have to stop you from getting outside and walking, exercise, whatever it is. If you run, if you walk, it is nice to go out, get some fresh air. For me, I love to put on my wool Dasher Mizzles from Allbirds and go for a little stroll. These sneakers are great. They keep my feet warm and dry. They are weather repellent, so you don't have to let those winter storms put a damper on your run. You know, right now we're in New York City. It's been snowy, it's been rainy, so it's just constantly wet outside. There's puddles everywhere, but I don't have to worry about that because with my weather repellent wool Dasher Mizzles, I am safe to walk outside, run outside. I mean, you know me. I'm not running outside too much, but I will walk. I walk to work every day. So I know that I have those ready to go. I can make sure my feet stay dry and warm on that walk. So Allbirds printed the Wool Dasher Mizzle's carbon footprint right on the shoe so you know its impact on the planet. Then they offset that footprint to 0 to make it a carbon neutral product. Allbirds built the Wool Dasher Mizzle using natural materials to have a low environmental impact so you can break a sweat without breaking the planet. These sneakers are really great, guys. You gotta try them out. It's perfect for winter. Make sure your feet are cozy, dry, warm. With the Allbirds Wool Dasher Mizzles. Discover your perfect pair at allbirds.com today. That's ALLBIRDS.com. Total setup. I knew this was coming. We joked about it last week when the entire preview for this episode seemed to be focused around a 2-on-1. And then we spent an hour and 50 minutes watching not the 2-on-1. And then they save it right for the end, the cliffhanger. The girls are, they're silent in the back of the car. They're driving to Niagara Falls. They're in their jackets, their hoods wrapped around their heads, and that's it. And then it ended.
Someone's got to be going home on the 2-on-1, right?
Yeah.
Has to.
There's no way he keeps both. I think I think Genevieve even said it like either one of us goes home or both of us go home.
Yeah.
It's not both of us are
I'm
staying.
worried it's going to be Genevieve.
I feel
like Shanae is going to get herself out of this one again because he believes everything she says.
Yeah.
That is true.
And there's parts of the preview where he's turning to Genevieve being like, "Are you an actress?" And it's like, "What?"
That was nuts.
And Shanae's like, she was packing her bag. She was ready to go. Like, she's planting the seeds in his mind.
I love it.
It would be really insane if Genevieve is the one to go home next week.
I know.
I could see it. I could definitely see it.
I can definitely see it. Also, I feel like the girls are gonna freak the fuck out too. If they're like, there might be, I don't know what's gonna happen, but it just doesn't make any sense.
I guess there's not a world where I see Shanae going home.
Think about how electric it would be, like after the final rose, like that finale, where if she played him and then they have to sit down, like on that live show and be
like at this point. It's always been, but it is certainly up to Clayton on who to send home and who to keep. That's the role of the Bachelor. And up to this point, despite mountains of evidence against Shanae, he keeps her around. So I don't see that changing.
I don't necessarily see it changing either because I do kind of think there is a possibility that in the preview, which once again we were saying is very hard to figure out, we're finally getting that moment or seeing the moment with Clayton saying, I was intimate with both of you. We don't know who those girls are. They tried to make it seem like it was Shanae and Genevieve. It's not.
No.
I now think it might be. I'm very confident one of them is Gabby.
Me too.
And I'm very iffy on. I think maybe the other one is Shanae.
I'm going to throw the other one in. I think it's Rachel.
Me too.
Think it's Rachel?
Yep.
Yeah.
From the hair.
Yeah, from the hair.
I think it's Rachel.
I know.
At a certain point with Shanae,
I think it's probably Rachel.
It gets to we can't have this.
No.
With how certain I was.
No, I agree with you. I kind of hope it's Shanae just so we're right on him having sex with Shanae.
Fornication. I know. If I'm wrong about that, I'm going to be a little upset.
At a certain point,
whoever the blonde girl is on the stairs is sobbing.
Like,
I think it's Rachel.
Yeah. Could be Susie.
Because it could be Susie. Susie could be involved too. But with the hair, the way the hair was cut and styled.
Yeah.
Susie usually does her hair in curls.
Yeah. Like a little wavier.
It looked like Rachel to me.
I mean,
or they have Shanae and Rachel have very similar hair, which is why I could see the mix-up.
We all think it's Gabby though, right?
Yeah. I do think that Gabby definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, let's say Shanae gets through this 2-on-1, then we're talking she's going to be here for a long time.
Right.
Like Final 4, Final 3. Like if he doesn't send her home now.
I mean, if he doesn't send her home next week is week 6. So if she doesn't go home in the 2-on-1, she's in the game for week 7 when there's 7-ish girls, 6 or 7 girls left.
Right.
It's pretty far.
It's now or never for Clayton and Shanae.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think she's coming out with a rose. I really do.
I lean that way as well.
I'm rooting for it not to happen, but I really think Shanae is going to get a rose. I don't know what shit she's going to pull, but I think Genevieve is going to lose her shit. And the way she reacts, I think is going to send Clayton the wrong message. I
Genevieve-
think she's going to react because she's going to be like, this is fucking bullshit.
Genevieve,
and he's going to take that the wrong way.
halfway through the day, Genevieve might just be like, I'm out of here.
She might.
This is crazy.
She might.
Who
She
knows?
absolutely might. Honestly, I wouldn't blame her. I wouldn't blame her because they're probably, not only is like Shanae making her feel nuts, but if Clayton jumps on, then both of them are going to be making her
Right.
feel nuts.
She's
I'd be
like,
like, I'm out of here.
I'm
You
out.
two enjoy
Right.
yourselves.
Like clearly there's no winning in this situation.
like Clayton, I don't think I'm the gal for you. If this
Yeah.
is, if you're going to keep believing everything that Shanae says.
Would be totally fair.
It absolutely would. So we'll just have to wait and see. We'll finally actually see the 2-on-1 next week and see what happens. And then, you know, whenever that moment, that fateful moment of I was intimate with the both of you could be weeks from now.
it could be, but
it feels
I'm
far
ready
off
for
now.
it.
Yeah.
Feels
It
far
does
off.
feel far off. I feel like they gave it to us as a fake out so early for us not to think that it was fantasy suites, and now I kind of think it might be fantasy suites.
Might be final two.
Yeah. Like now I feel like it might just be fantasy suites. That he has his fantasy suites, he sleeps with 2 of them or 3 of them, however many it is,
Boring.
and then he's like, I gotta let you guys know I did have sex with both
That's
of you.
probably right because they definitely wanted us to think it was like week 3.
Exactly.
Yeah, but Jesse
And the
Palmer said there's stuff
emotion-
that happens that never happened before. They say
Yeah.
that every season, but they were like really adamant this time.
You said you were telling me
Jesse-
the
This is your
truth.
first time watching.
Jesse, you said
I specifically asked you not to cheat on me.
yeah.
You did?
I know. I just think that like the way that the girls are reacting is so intense that I feel like it has to be farther
I think
along.
it would be more intense not in fantasy suites, because fantasy suites, like, you got to assume that he may be intimate with multiple of them, right? Before fantasy suites is like,
You do, but what if what if Rachel was like, hey, I really
Yeah.
think I really want to do this with you, but I just got to let you know, like, I don't want you sleeping with anybody else.
Who gave that ultimatum in the past? I can picture they're outside of an airport hangar. Maddie.
Yeah,
Right?
Maddie.
Yes,
Pruitt.
Madison.
yes, Maddie.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Pete. Yep.
Yeah.
And look how that turned
yeah, not great.
out. So,
Wow.
so
Wow.
yeah, I don't know. It feels like we're headed in that direction where it's just like it's going to be farther along than we think. So, all right, think that wraps it up. We'll be back next week.